we now have our painted green paper. It's dry. We're ready to make them into pine trees. We're not going to draw on the side that has paint on it because we might mess it up, and it's also going to be harder to see. We're flipping our paper to the back. Out. We're just making triangles, and the triangle like the letter A. So starting at the bottom, I already have a nice straight line here. I'm going to use that, and all I'll need to do is make my up and down motion. In the middle of my paper, long ways, I'm going to fold it. And open it back up. This way I know how tall I should make my trees. I want it to come to that folded line right there. So I'm going to start at the bottom, come all the way up to the folded line, and then all the way back down. Just like a giant letter A. But I'm not going to draw that middle line. I've got a nice triangle. I'm going to make some more big triangles. They could even be connected, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch on this side and a big straight line down the middle. Now here is a really cool trick. If you have done what I showed you, when I cut my triangles out, I might get more than just 3 triangles. Here's one, and that's an extra. Here's 2. Here's 2. And then here's 3. Do you notice that the one I'm cutting off is also a triangle? So I don't get 3 triangles when I'm finished. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles. Now, some of them are kind of really wide. Yeah, I can turn it over now. Some of them are really wide. I might not want some of the wide ones. Maybe I like them. Maybe I like some of the skinnier ones too. I can decide which ones I like best. I also want to do a couple smaller ones. So on the other side, I'm not going to make my triangles go all the way to the top this time. I'm going to make them go most of the way. And do some smaller ones. And I don't need to use all the trees I cut. I'm cutting more than I need so I can decide what I want. I'm cutting up. Now instead of turning it all the way around, I can switch my scissors, cut the other way, and it'll fall right out. If you don't want to do that, you could cut all the way up one side and then just keep going and cut it off that way. Turn it, cut that way. Might be a little easier to do that for you guys. Cut it off. Cut it to the side. Cut it off. Cut it to the side. So I got 3 more small little triangles. A lot of triangles. A lot of trees. Now that I have all my trees cut, I'm going to decorate them. I'm going to use my oil pastels. Now, should I use green on these green trees? Probably not. It doesn't look like it's going to show up. Here's the thing. I got all these nice trees. Do I also have scraps? Could I take one of these scraps and use my pastel to test and see if it shows up? Absolutely. Now that doesn't really show up that well, so I'm not going to use that one. What about orange? Let's see. Orange looks okay. Let's see. Purple. Ooh, I like purple. Let's do purple. So on one of these trees, I'm going to make a line straight down the middle. And then on either side, I can bring my lines up or down. I'm going to bring my lines up like that and do it on either side of my tree. That's it. I'm just going to decorate all my trees like that with different colors, maybe not all purple. I do like purple, but let's see if there's another color that looks nice. What about white? I'm gonna use my scrap paper again. Ooh yeah, white shows up really good. Draw my line down the middle, make my lines coming up. Maybe I'll make some extra lines on this one. It's very nice. Alright, let's try out red. Let's see if red looks good. Whoa, yeah, that shows up really good. Draw my line in the middle. Make my lines coming out. Now, am I coloring the trees in? No, I already have color all over them. We painted them. So I don't need to color them in. They already have nice colors. I'll maybe do some little ones, like maybe do another white. I really liked the white. You can see the smaller ones are kind of harder to draw in, which is why you want a lot of nice big ones, because that shows up really well. Let's see if yellow shows up on this. Let's use the scrap. Yellow does not really show up, so I'm not going to use yellow. Check blue. Ooh. Nice blue in there. Should you ever peel all the paper off of a pastel? No. See how I've only peeled a little bit. My pastel looked like, oops, like this. There's nothing left. So all you gotta do is peel a little bit off. And if you have trouble, you can ask me. But you're just taking a little bit and peeling the edges off. And this can go in your little trash can in the middle of your table. Don't throw it back in the box. All my trees are now finished. I'm going to get my background paper and decide where to put them. So I'm going to take my big trees and little trees and kind of lay them out before I glue anything. The small trees mean that they're farther away. So if something's further away, it's not down at the bottom, it would be higher up on the paper. So my small trees will go in the back. Again, you don't have to use them all, but if you want to try, you can. I've got little small trees, and now I've got big trees. My big trees are going to go closer to the front. They don't have to be in a row. You could make them go lower and higher, all over the place. It'll look more like a forest if you do that. I might even overlap a tree, so it's kind of on top of another tree. That'd be cool. Alright, so I couldn't quite fit them all. I have one left over. That's okay. There's a lot of trees on this paper, and that looks really nice. I like that. Oh, I need to glue the back first and move forward. So starting back here, I might have to move this tree a little bit. I'm going to put glue on the back of the tree. Using those special glue bottles that have the tap and glue tips. Remember, we don't turn these glue bottles. They open and close by that little tiny tip up front. And the way it opens and closes is when it gets pushed in. And we're not going to push it in with our finger, that's too hard. All we got to do is turn it upside down and shake it so the glue is shaking into the tip. and then touch the tip to our triangle and push. You might have to push a couple times, but make sure you can hear it pushing into the table. I got lots of little dots, you can see, all along the edges, all down the edges, bottom and the other edge. Very carefully, I'm going to flip it over and glue it down in the back. Tap it all over a little bit. Hold it with my fingers maybe and count to 20 quietly in my head. Alright, so I'm going to do all the little ones first, picking one up at a time. Don't just put a dot in the middle and glue it down. That's going to fall right off. You've got to put dots all along the edges and the bottom, all the way to the tip too. If you notice, like I'm noticing my tree here is starting to curl up, I'm going to hold it again, hold it a little bit longer down. Okay, now I'm going to come forward. Not these, because these are in the super front. It's kind of, this is the middle ground. It's in the middle. I'm going to take those triangles next. I wanted to overlap this one, so it's going on top of the one in the back a little bit. Okay, when you're finished, take that glue bottle that's super dirty. Use a paper towel. Remember, we're going to pinch the paper towel around that little tip. So wrap the paper towel around the wet part of the glue, pinch it with your fingers, and twist the glue bottle. It's going to get a lot of it off real quick. You might have to get to another piece of the paper towel. Do it again. So it's nice and clean. Don't ball it up and do this. That's not going to do anything. Just get a piece of paper towel, wrap it around the tip and pinch and twist it. That's all you got to do. All right. Share the paper towel with your neighbors. And when you're finished, put your picture on the drying rack and your glue bottle in the back of the room in the red basket.